Welcome back to Animal Appreciation. This time we are talking about tanagers. Tanagers are these little birds that are mainly found in North and South America, such as this one, the flame-faced tanager, which can be found in the Andes Mountains, so in Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia largely. And an interesting fact about the flame-faced tanagers in specific is that the brightness of the orange on the face depends entirely on which side of the mountain that the birds were hatched on. Next we have the green-headed tanager, which is found on the more eastern side of South America in Argentina, Paraguay, and southern Brazil. This is the white-capped tanager, which is found also in the Andes areas, but less on the slopes and more in the lowlands of Ecuador, Peru, all of those countries. And tanagers as a whole are actually some of the most common birds. The tanager family is the second most common bird family in the whole world. And tanagers in general make up about 4% of all birds, according to Wikipedia at least. This is the glistening green tanager that is found again in the foothills of the Andes in mainly Colombia and Ecuador, and it is an incredibly green bird. Very, very green. Then we have the spangle-cheeked tanager, which is endemic to Costa Rica and Panama in Central America. And then a favorite of mine, the speckled tanager, which is very, very widely distributed throughout South and Central America in countries such as Colombia, Brazil, Guyana, and in Panama, Costa Rica, all of those countries as well. Then we have the more northern situated summer tanager, which is found in northern Mexico and the southern United States. And another favorite of mine, the western tanager, the only type of tanager species that I've actually seen in person. And it is very widely distributed on pretty much the entire western half of North America. Now, some tanagers are migratory, the western one included, spending the winter months down in northern Mexico and the southern United States, and migrating up north towards Canada in places such as British Columbia and Alberta during the summer when it's a little bit warmer. Next we have the paradise tanager, which is found in the Amazon basin of Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil, among a couple other countries. We have the unfortunately now threatened by habitat loss blue whiskered tanager, which is found in Ecuador and Colombia. The very interesting looking crimson collared tanager, which can be found in areas of southern Mexico down through Central America in places like Nicaragua and Panama. Next up we have the chestnut-backed tanager, which can be found in areas of Brazil, down through Paraguay and Uruguay, and into Argentina. Now, tanagers do typically live in small flocks, typically of their own species, but have occasionally been seen mixing around with other tanager species. Then we have the hooded mountain tanager, found in the mountains of the Andes, specifically in Peru, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, all of that. Then another very interesting tanager, the golden naped tanager, named for that little spot at the back of its head that is found in areas of Bolivia and Colombia. There is the red-necked tanager that is found mainly in Brazil but does extend down into Uruguay and Argentina, and most of these tanagers are very just basically named, like, yep, this one has a red-necked, so let's call it the red-necked tanager. Creative. Then we have the brassy-breasted tanager, which is endemic to the areas in Brazil. And finally, we have one of the rarest tanagers, the cherry-throated tanager, which is endemic to only a couple small areas in Brazil and is classified as critically endangered. Now, there are tons more tanager species. Again, they're one of the most populous and diverse bird families in the world, so these are just a couple of the ones that I thought look the best.